Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, so there was a New York Times article. We just wanted to we're going to show the headline here and talk about it. But it's about being a landlord and why the paradigm has potentially changed today versus years ago. And so the title of the article is When It's Easy to Be a Landlord, No One Wants to Sell. And there's a couple things in here they're interesting. One is locked in at historically low interest rates, and then platforms that make managing rentals a breeze. I highlighted that. I put a red box around that for a reason, because I happen to know personally a personal knowledge of companies that are doing this. Homeowners have little incentive to put a house on the market. Let's talk about this. 20 years ago, if you bought a rental property, chances are, let's say you bought a rental property, didn't put any money down, you probably got an 8.5% interest rate, right?
Right.
Did it cash flow?
No, it didn't cash flow. So what would happen is, you would collect rent. So let's say that you were collecting $1,000 a month, but let's say that your mortgage payment was maybe $1,300 a month. So now you were having to dig into your pocket every month for $300. Every time there were repairs, you had to pay for those. When the property was vacant, then you had to make the whole mortgage payment on your own. So it was expensive to be a landlord. So the idea behind being a landlord was not necessarily cash flow as much as it was appreciation. Or that you would hope that maybe at some point in the not too distant future, you could refinance, lower that mortgage payment, and maybe get to a break-even point. And that's what would happen with a lot of people. It was not common unless you put a lot of money down. Usually 30% down is what it took to just even get you really close to cash flow positive. Sometimes that was just like right on the money. So you'd put $30,000 or 30% down. So maybe that was, depending on the price of the house, $60,000. And then you weren't making any money. So that happened to a lot of people. Okay. And so what would happen is they would do that maybe for 2 or 3 years, and they would just get tired of this thing just kind of sucking up their money. Or as I like to say it, paying for the privilege of someone else living in your home. And they would just say, you know what, forget it. I'm out of here. I'm going to go ahead and sell it. I'm tired of the repairs. I'm tired of the headaches. I'm just done. And it was a lot more difficult to manage properties back then as well.
Okay, so now we're going to flip into the future and why this has changed. During the housing reset, the great financial crisis, we personally, this is completely anecdotal, not statistically reliable, had 2 separate people that came to us because of the videos, and each literally said, I have $5 million to buy 50 rentals. Because at the time you could get a house for like 80 to 100 grand, right? I want to buy 50 rentals in Vegas for cash. At the time, these $80,000, $90,000 houses were getting $1,000 a month rent. So multiply that times all the other people out there who were doing the same thing. Oh, I've got 20 or 30,000. I'll now go get one of these houses, get financed for 70 grand. And then of course have done one of 2 things. Have either refied the thing to a really low rate, 2 point something percent, right? So they cash flow like crazy. Even if they bought it 100% loan to value, or they did buy the things cash, right? I know from reading the comments that a lot of the people who watch this are those type of investors. They've owned properties for a long time. The one interesting thing is we had all these people flooding to us to buy these investment properties, have us manage them, sort of a thing for long periods of time. But they haven't shown back up to sell these things.
No.
And we have a lot, I'm from Vegas. I've been here for 47 years. I have a huge sphere of influence of people that I've known that all have rentals. And 0 of them have said, hey, I'm selling my whatever. No. Like they're not selling their thing. They're not selling the house.
No, if anything, we've had people buy.
No, we still have people buying investment properties. And remember, you can say, well, interest rates, right? But they're paying cash.
Right. So that kind of speaks to that portion. And the next portion is the part that Todd circled, that there are all these platforms out there that are available to help landlords manage their properties. So technology has made a huge difference, right? For example, you have a tenant who maybe says, hey, I changed a water filter on the refrigerator and now the water is coming out. What do I do? Well, you have a lot of options. You can just send them the YouTube video of how to properly install that water filter so the refrigerator doesn't leak water everywhere. You can go online and grab the manual for the refrigerator and send that to them. And all these things you can do before you spend money on sending out a repair person. And even when you do send out a repair person, again, technology is helping you. You get photos of everything and you get them digitally, you get them instantly, all kinds of things like that. It's much easier to deal with everything. You're getting paid online. All the statements are online. Everything is accessible. Everything's so much easier. It is easier today to be a landlord than it's ever been because of technology.
And here's another problem. Unless we just ran into this on a property where the sellers they were doing a 1031 exchange and they backed out of the property they were buying. So they had to take theirs off the market, their investment property off the market. So they were removing an investment property from the market that they could easily have sold, but they couldn't do the 1031 exchange. So the problem is there's this, if they own a rental, they would have to pay these capital gains tax. And a lot of these people, it's going to be a substantial amount of money. And why would they want to do that, pull the cash out and then sit on the cash? It's easier to park cash. There is more cash parked today in real estate than there has ever been.
Right.
And it's making prices sticky. So, this, and you're saying, well, what does this have to do with what's going on? Because interest rates are up. Well, what it has to do with is it just explaining why inventory is so low. And, we've showed you the charts. You can look at our other videos where inventory compared to 7-8 years ago is half. And it's not like we're talking half. It's half as much. And it's not going to just magically go back up to, 2 million homes available in the US to purchase.
Right. So low inventory for a lot of reasons, and this is one of the reasons, is because sellers who own investment properties don't want to sell them. They're making good bank as far as the rent. It's easier than ever to manage their properties. So life is pretty good for somebody who owns rental properties.
And it's a hedge against inflation.
It is.
So tell us why do you have investment? Like, how long have you owned them? You don't have to tell us personal information, but just like, what's your general strategy? Like, why did you get one in the first place? Why do you keep it? Why aren't you selling it? We have rental properties. We're not selling them.
Right. So, tell us that you've got rental properties in Spokane, that you've had them for 15 years and why you're hanging on to them or whatever's going on with you. We're curious, and I think other viewers might be curious too. So we love hearing from you. Thank you for watching. If you thought this was interesting, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a love note, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.